Like, that's why referrals is a pretty huge lead source generator, because those customers are spreading the word for a longer period of time than the one-time client.
Welcome to Jobber's Masters of Home Service podcast, where successful business owners share their secrets for making your business more profitable and efficient. I'm your host, Adam Sylvester, owner of Charlottesville Lawn Care and Charlottesville Gutter Pros for the last 15 years. I truly believe that service entrepreneurs need to come together from different service industries and swap stories, share tips, and learn from each other. By getting together and sharing each other's successes and failures, we can help each other level up. And that's the mission of Masters of Home Service. On today's episode, we're talking about getting new customers and knowing how much each one costs. With me is Paul Jameson, successful business owner and host of the Green Industry Podcast in Atlanta, Georgia. Welcome.
Good to be back.
And Christine Hodge, CEO of Clearview Washing in Freehold, New Jersey. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So I want to divide our show into two parts. I want to give our listeners a lot of just practical marketing sources. Where do you get new customers, right? We'll go around the circle. And then the rest of the conversation, I want us to focus on the cost of getting those clients, because a lot of times that gets forgotten and missed and gets us into trouble. So let's go there next. But first, Christine, start us off. Give us your top 3 best sources for customers.
Our top 3 lead sources are Google, referrals, and then Facebook. And Facebook, our method is free, actually. So we pump money into Google, we pump money into SEO. Referrals don't cost us anything. And Facebook, too, does not cost us anything.
Explain Facebook a little bit more. Your groups,
so,
right?
Yeah, so we've joined every town page on Facebook that we want to service. And almost daily, there's somebody who says, I'm looking for power washing. I'm looking for roof cleaning. Do you know anyone who will clean my windows? They're X amount of years old, or things like that. How do you get the stickers off your post-construction cleaning? And we're like, well, you should do that professionally. Call us. So that's a free way to connect with your community. And Facebook is cool because Facebook, your personal pages are usually very personal with kids and stuff, but you end up connecting with your customers on a personal level about business and
That's
about
great.
fulfilling their needs.
Yeah, that's great. All right, Paul, give us 3 more.
It used to be called Google My Business. It's completely free. Now I think they changed the name to Google Business Profile. But it's free $99. And so you definitely want to have that established and current fresh pictures on there. That's huge. That's
We love
mainly,
free, right? We love free.
Yeah, but you'd be shocked how many people in the lawn care industry don't have their Google My Business or Google Business Profile now accurately filled out with fresh pictures, accurate information. So I start there. I agree with Facebook, and we talked at dinner last night. I love Facebook micro targeting ads, where you can actually draw a map. If there's an exclusive neighborhood you want to be in, you can draw a map and actually do targeting to that specific neighborhood or house or whatever. So that's huge. And I love Instagram. A lot of our clients, these ladies are on Instagram, and you get to showcase your work, not only to get new customers, but actually to recruit new employees as well when people see your business on Instagram. So
Yeah, I might come back around and ask you for one more bonus tip, but I've got a few. I think that yard signs work. I didn't believe they worked until I did them, and they work. I think having wrapped vehicles, or at least logoed vehicles, work, because people see your brand, and then 3 weeks later they remember, oh yeah, I'll call them, because I remember they see it. And I think that email marketing works. I think emailing your customers on a regular basis works. Even people who've bought from you last month, they get an email and they forward it to their friend. Any other final tips for our listeners?
door hangers. So we call them 9-arounds. So if let's say you do a sod installation at a yard, the 9 yards around that one, you just go put a little door hanger on their door. It's tried, it's true, simple door hangers. You just put it on their door, and they're not going to leave it there. So at some point, they're going to go get it off, and that's a marketing touch. In 1920s, they came out in the movie industry with something called the Rule of Sevens. So if you had a brand new movie in the 1920s, you could market it on the radio or in the newspaper. So they didn't have TikTok back in the 1920s, or Instagram or Facebook. But their point was, we need to get the word out 7 times about our new movie if someone's going to go watch the movie on Friday night. So they run radio spots, during drive time. They'd run newspaper ads. And eventually, after 7 times, people kept hearing about the movie and they would go see it. So you mentioned our top 3, but I really think you need to have like 10 or 12 so that they hear about you on Facebook. They see the door hanger. They get the Facebook ad. They get all of those emails. So it's a little bit of all of that. And over time, they've now said it's a rule of 21s because everyone's scrolling through social media so fast. It's not like the 1920s where you could have 7 touch points and now someone knows about your movie. They need to hear about the name of your business, your services 21 times until they feel credible. Like, you know what? I'm going to call Adam to clean my gutters, or I'm going to call Christine to clean my house.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if talking to a listener who is all by himself, very low budget, just getting started, if you can't afford to wrap your van or even put a logo on your van or your truck yet, here's a little tip. Stick a sign in the yard while you're working. You can take it away if they want you to, but while you're working, because what's happening? Neighbors are looking out the window, looking to see who's out there cutting the grass and power washing the house, and they see that sign, and then they call you. If that sign's not there, who do they call? So that's a really cheap way of getting your brand across in the early days. Christine, any other tips?
Yeah, so we've also played around with voicemail bombs. I don't know if you guys have used that.
Explain
It's
that.
It's the anonymous voicemail bomb. So basically, you would record a pre-recorded message, and then you would send it out to everyone on your, in your CRM. And the phone, I don't think rings, but they end up with a voicemail. So we strategically set these up so they're already recorded, but I schedule them when I see that it's beautiful outside. Because in our industry, when it rains, no one's thinking about cleaning their house. Like, it's just ugly outside. But when it's beautiful out, the phone doesn't stop ringing. So on a beautiful morning, I'll just schedule it. In marketing, you're supposed to have the message out, even if it's an email, before they wake up in the morning because they look at their phone first thing, or on their lunch break because when they sit back down at their desk or continue working, they're going to check their emails. So I would send the voicemail bomb out for their lunch break. They would get the voicemail and then they would call us. So there are little tips and tricks like that to kind of, you have your major marketing, but then there are also like customizations that you should do that cater to your business. And for us, it's the beautiful weather and the nice days.
It's funny. For us, it's the opposite. When it rains, the grass grows and the gutters leak. And so we send out voicemail bombs when it rains and the phone never stops ringing.
That's funny.
Yeah. So let's talk about cost of acquisition of customers. How much does it cost? How do you go about that?
The first step is knowing your numbers and knowing what you're spending in each marketing category. That is something that I don't think a lot of new business owners do immediately. They think, well, that'll come. I know we're making money from this, or I know we're making money from that, or, this was a really cool way of advertising, so I'm going to pump more money into that. But until you see it in black and white, the data, and then what you've generated, you actually don't know your numbers. We've been in business for 20 years and didn't know our numbers until year 15. That being said, we would calculate our client acquisition cost, basically what we spent in marketing, and then divided by, how many jobs that you've done. And we try to keep our marketing between 3 and 5%. This year we're on the lower side, so it's closer to 3% at about $47 per customer. And it's because we took all of our marketing strategies over the last few years, dumped the ones that didn't work, which I recommend doing immediately, because if it didn't work, it's not going to work, and then pump the rest of your money into the successful outlets.
That's good.
Yeah.
In any major top 500 business in the world, it's usually 5 to 7%. Some of the bigger companies spending on marketing, yet guys that are new in business, they're like, you mentioned word of mouth referrals earlier, but that's their marketing plan is, we do such great work, Paul, that we just get word of mouth. Well, that's great. Of course, those are the best warm, hot leads, but there needs to be a more total plan. So I like that 3 to 5%. And then if you are going to spend the 5%, like actually tracking it. We were talking about that at dinner last night. Like, here's how much we spent on Facebook. Here's the customers that we brought in from that. And you just run the math equation. Here's what we spent $1,000. We got 10 new customers, and you run that math. So
Customer acquisition cost is really just a fancy word for, if I put $1 in, what comes out?
Right.
Does $2 come out? Or does 50 cents come out? If I put $1 in, I get $2 back, that's all I should do. I shouldn't do anything else. That's a good return. But if I put $1 in Google and get 90 cents back, I should never do it again, right? What our listeners don't want to do is average all of our sources together and say, oh, well, they all kind of work. No. Some don't work at all. Some work great. Just do those. Would you guys agree with that?
Yes, and you also have to be very strategic and intentional of what audience you're trying to capture, like what client you want to capture. So for us, we wanted to go heavier into commercial work because we have larger margins there. So we pumped money into a large commercial association in New Jersey that held a lot of property managers and a lot of other commercial companies. And it was a lot of money. And I tracked it throughout the year to make sure the return was consistent. And sure enough, throughout the year and at the end of the year, we were like, yes, like that was worth it. And it pushed us to the goal we wanted to get to with commercial work. Luxury clients, if you want to cater to luxury clients, where are you going to find them? Pump your money in that direction. Don't pump it into something else. Like we personally don't feel like the luxury clients are going to be on Angie's list. You know what I mean? So like there are different, you have to be very strategic and intentional where you put your money.
That's a really, really good point. So in that case, what your customer acquisition cost would be you know what you spent for the membership, you know how many what the value of the jobs all you got, and you just divide it. And that's what it was.
Yep.
Let's take a quick 30-second break, and we'll come right back.
I could never go on vacation. Running my renovation and contracting business took up all of my time until I found Jobber. Last year, I actually headed out of the country and went to the beach for my vacation. I could schedule my team, update job details, make sure my customers were getting taken care of, and we were getting paid. All from the beach. You need a vacation, and you can do that too. You need Jobber.
Smoother from start to finish. Quote, schedule, invoice, and get paid. Start your free trial today at jobber.com.
So we're talking about customer acquisition cost. What are some common struggles that business owners face in knowing that number? How do you guys track that? How do you know?
First and foremost, you do have to invest your time and effort into your QuickBooks or whatever you're using to manage your numbers, because it is going to take time, if you're not already doing it, to set it up. Without your numbers, it is very rare that you're going to have great success and growth. That being said, once you do have your numbers, there are some very shiny objects in marketing. So it's really fun to do a TV commercial. It's really fun to be on the radio. There are a lot of fun, shiny objects like, oh, this is such a cool moment for our company. But that doesn't necessarily turn it into leads. It might create brand awareness, which is good in the long run, but you have to have the additional budget to invest in brand awareness. But if you're looking for lead generation, those lead sources may not be generating leads. And my recommendation is to dump them. Don't give it another 6 months. There's only 12 months in the year, and you can apply that budget into other methods of marketing or other areas of your company, better equipment. I really highly advise that if something is not working quickly, dump it.
Well, how do you know if someone calls you and they saw a TV commercial or they got a flyer? Do you ask them?
So if a new client profile is created in Jobber, we ask them how they found us. But then when a client calls us that was an existing client on the job profile, that is also a transferable field to what prompted the call, essentially. And you're not always going to get it. You know what I mean?
Close.
Like a customer might say, oh, you did in my neighbor's house. And then I saw the TV commercial, you know, like,
and I got a flyer.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then, you know, my son knows your husband or, you know, there's just all these. So you have to do your best to gauge it, but you should ask, and it should be a part of the process. That's also a training thing. Sometimes it's hard to be pushy and you don't want to bother a client but we had to really push our office. Like, we need to capture this data, and even the sales reps, we need to capture all data. And once you implement that system, you have it for life.
Yeah, so true.
Yeah, that's good about brand awareness and conversions, and there it will intermingle, because some of the work you did to get the brand awareness might have tipped them over the edge, you know, to convert. But at the end of the day, you have to have a measuring tool. If we're going to spend X amount of dollars on Facebook, you know, we want to report back of here's the new customers you had. So just actually mathematically measuring what does success look like for this campaign and having some kind of way to track that. But I definitely think you need to do both brand awareness and conversions, because you need to get the brand out there of who you are. And there's so many free ways to do that.
Mm-hmm. So all three of us have businesses that have recurring revenue and one-off revenue. A big landscape install, a big gutter install, house wash, but then like recurring window cleaning and recurring mowing. So what is customer lifetime value? Let's talk about that. What does it mean to say that a customer's lifetime value is 3 years? Christine?
So you have to look at it as what are you offering? What industry are you in? So if you're doing a soft wash, you're a soft washing company, you do roof cleanings, for example, it's very hard to generate recurring revenue. So you just have to rely on the fact that you guys did a great job. You have a good reputation, good reviews. The customer loved you. They loved the crew. They loved the office, loved the price. And they're going to come back to you, every 2 years for a soft wash. We encourage every 1 year, every 5 years for a roof cleaning. But how do you create recurring revenue to create that lifetime value from a customer and make sure that you're touching them more frequently, essentially, right? I don't want to just see that guy once every 5 years. You have to educate them on all of your services and other areas of their home that they should be looking at because they may not know. I didn't know you can clean a roof when I joined Freddie. And
Yeah, it's fascinating. Yeah.
Yeah, and now when I drive, I'm like, oh my God, how is that house for sale with a roof like that? And we think
need
to
a roof
ourselves, we
wash.
should leave something on their door. Yeah, there's education, and a lot of people, for us, it all comes so easy because this is our whole life, right? We're very passionate about this. But for other consumers, they just don't know what can be done. On top of that, take bits and pieces of your company and see if you can create recurring revenue. We can do gutter cleaning maintenance plans. We just implemented window washing. We have more frequent window washing for the shore houses because of the salts from the ocean. They don't know that their windows are going to be in worse condition because of the salts from the ocean. So we'll do a sample. So there are different ways to create that lifetime value in a customer. You as the business owner, you just have to implement it and strategically document, these are the ways that I'm going to make this customer a lifelong Clearview client.
Because if you're spending $50 a lead for a new customer, and they stay with you for 12 months, not bad. But if they stay with you 5 years,
Right.
That's way better, right?
Yeah, we did a series on the podcast. It was 9 episodes. It was called How to Get and Keep Customers. And so when you originally get a new customer, it's looking long term, how this is going to be for lawn mowing. It's the best because you mow their grass every week. Then they need some flats of flowers in the spring and the fall, either mulch or pine straw. And then you rinse and repeat every single year. The goal isn't just to get a new customer, especially in the lawn and landscaping industry. It's to keep that customer long term. So for sure.
Here's what I like about this. You're betting on yourself. You're betting on yourself to keep that client. Because if you do a good job and they don't move, then they'll stay with you forever, really, in theory.
Yeah, I just want to add on to that. That client is also a lot of referrals. That's why referrals is a pretty huge lead source generator because the amount of lifetime clients that you have, those are annual referrals. Those are, they're telling all their friends, this is who I use. They're sharing it on Facebook. They're leaving you the Google review when you send out the Google review request. So those customers are spreading the word for a longer period of time than the one-time client.
Recurring revenue is also good if you want to ever sell your business, right? If you want to sell your business, that's really valuable.
Yeah, and actually, so a landscaping business has big high-ticket items. You put in a stone patio paver, retaining wall, or sod, or you do this one-time big job, but it's not reoccurring. So lawn mowing companies that have a weekly maintenance program, they actually sell for more than the landscaping businesses because the landscaping business, it's basically you're selling off your equipment, which is fancy, skid steers and stuff. But a lawn maintenance business is actually worth more because you have all that reoccurring work year after year. So
With big ticket, one-time jobs, you're basically just starting over every day. You have to go out, kill something, drag it home every day. But with recurring revenue, you've got revenue booked up. I can look in Jobber and see how much revenue we're going to make in 3 years because it's just recurring. It's easier to sleep at night when you have that kind of stuff on the books, isn't it?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Paul, any final thoughts?
yeah, it's like an orchestra. It's this huge tapestry with marketing. You need to be doing a little of everything that works. And so we talked a lot about investing money into marketing, but there's actually things you can do for free. So Google My Business, Google Business Profile is free 99. You send in your request, they send you a little code, you fill it out. That's typically where you check. We're visiting a new city. You're looking at the reviews. What does people say about this place or that? And they're looking at that Google Business Profile. So you want that to be immaculate. And all that takes is investing time, making sure you have quality pictures and accurate information. And then you go over to Instagram. Your Instagram grid, that's your first 9 videos or pictures, that should be full with your best work. In our industry, if we lay down nice stripes mowing the grass, take a picture. In your world, take a picture maybe before and after of the roof or the nasty gutter and then the clean gutter. and be showcasing those pictures. There's a guy down in Miami, the Miami landscaper. He does pretty much all of his referrals through Instagram because they filmed these little videos like of them doing the job, put them on Instagram, and he's got more work than he can handle. Free.
Wow.
Free 99 on Instagram. It's the same with Facebook. The demographic of Facebook is the people with buying power. It's the 50-year-olds. It's they're spending money on their houses. That's free. So it's getting all of that in order. Marketing isn't just I'm going to do this. It's all of that. A great branding is a little bit of all of that.
That's a great summary. Maximize what you're doing for free and then start doing paid stuff.
This doesn't only apply to new customers. This applies to a customer that you've already provided an estimate with. We have automatic emails going out to them up to 5 years after we've given them the estimate. They're hearing from us every month. Like, we are not allowing them to leave our system or our email queue until they reject us. So we've had clients say, I got a quote from you 9 months ago. Can you come out? You know, can you honor the price? That's, up to the company, whatever. But marketing applies to people who have already, requested your service. But we've talked about this. They're busy. So you have to keep reminding them, hey, I'm here and you still need a roof cleaning.
Right. Your roof is still dirty.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to hear what you think about Nicejob, the platform for getting reviews.
We highly recommend Nicejob. It's basically an automated company that integrates with Jobber. So after you close a job, they will send via text and email your client a review link, and then they can send you a review on Google, Facebook, all of those outlets. And the great thing about Nicejob is it's automated, so it'll continue to reach out to the client until you get that raving review that you deserve.
If our listeners aren't using Nicejob, they're losing money. And if they're using Jobber and not using Nicejob, they're crazy. They need I don't understand how you wouldn't use it. Nicejob is amazing. I'm so thankful for that software. It's changed my business. I've gotten so many reviews because of it. It's awesome. I want to try to summarize what we've talked about. It's been a great conversation, lots of good stuff. Number one, know your numbers. Know what it costs to get a customer. Number two is maximize all your free channels. Maximize every Instagram post, Facebook, and then go into some of the paid stuff. And number three, knowing the importance of a lifetime value of a client. And if you want to sell your business, having recurring revenue is really important. This has been a great conversation. I know you guys enjoyed it. At least I did. I hope our listeners did too. Where can our listeners learn more about you guys? Christine?
I can be found on Instagram, Christine S. Hodge, or at Clearview Washing. Also Facebook, Christine Hodge and Clearview Washing.
Great.
I'm on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook at Green Industry Podcast, and just have a brand new book out on Amazon. It's called The Lawn Care Advantage. You can grab your copy on Amazon.
If you like this episode, make sure you listen more, subscribe, and like it. Tell your friends. Make sure others can listen to the podcast too. We'll see you next time.